嗨，早晨啊，大家。等先啦，都標話事實都係大機，神正早晨都係大雞，大機，餃子都係大機，烏拉神都係大機 ，YSK 神88cm 神 ，YSK 88cm 神，多謝大機 ，Soft Pitch 神都係大機，先醫護神多謝，先醫護點解名咁難讀㗎？先醫護神都係大機，Pumpkin 神都係大機。彤彤早晨，多謝大機，迷途小兔多謝大機，出貓啊早晨啊，多謝大機，Mono 神多謝大機，Clover 神多謝大機，蝦米參見女王多謝大機，伊拉神多謝大機，早晨啊，蜂窩神早晨啊，Joshua 神早晨啊，夜貓偉神早晨啊 ，Koneko 早晨啊，Yahoo，Mason 神早晨啊。Charles D 神早晨啊 ，Have 雪姬早晨啊 ，Lily 早晨啊，大家早晨啊，大家早晨啊，平身啊，成早晨啊，我哋今日玩嘅係咧，The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe 一個咧，佢係一隻有一隻舊 game 嘅重製版啊，算唔算重製呢？因為佢好似又加呢個新內容，我都唔知算唔算重製喎。如果咁樣，我哋今日就玩呢個。聽講呢係一個佢嘅前作啊，即係一開始嗰個版本呢，就係非常之好評。跟住我聽聞好好玩，跟住就買咗啦。就係咁樣啦，睇下先。第一次睇到女王台好感動。呢個跟到我個台三生有幸啦，係咪啊？你可以見識到女王有幾咁可愛。你今世生出嚟真係值得啦。Candy 神早晨啊，雨早晨啊 ，Data 早晨啊。神作啊，咁犀利添啊！神作添。某人早晨啊 ，YouTube 推出嚟 ，good，YouTube good job。今次我買咗幾隻心理恐怖 game，係啊 ，Summer Sale 啊，咁而家有好多，甚至係唔知邊個，其實我淨係知道呢隻 game 大概內容就係應該係講話我係一個，即係主人公係一個社畜。跟住佢喺一個 office 裏面咧，就日日夜夜好辛苦咁樣工作啦。跟住咧電腦打乜嘢，佢跟住打，跟住聽晒 order 咁樣做嘢。跟住有一日咧，佢發現 office 裏面突然之間就冇晒人，跟住電腦就冇晒嗰啲指令咁樣，跟住就旁白出現，就係咁樣。跟住就係到我哋開始玩啦，咁樣嘅。我就冇玩過前作啊，跟住唔知係點樣咧。呀！呢隻冇買到，我都買咗幾，我買咗除咗呢隻之外，仲買咗Binding of Isaac 第2集，跟住買咗咩咧？我仲有 Titanfall， 買咗 Titanfall， 雖然唔係我買嘅。飲啖水先啊！冇，其實我唔係咩啦，我 cut 咗1-2日嘅啦都，係啊 ，it's okay， 我哋開始啦。呢個啱，你有冇見到啊？會唔會太細個畫面？你睇下，即係我畫面右邊咧咪有個電腦嘅，跟住 cursor 喺裏面咧，佢無限噶，有冇見到啊？呢度啊，喂！好中意呢啲嘢，可以喺度玩一日，唔使，隻 game 係咪呢度就完噶啦？我哋喺度可以玩一日咧。睇下先 ，begin the game。Never the end, it's never 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 the end。佢背嘅，我唔記得，好大聲個旁白。睇下先。你等等先，你唔好講嘢住。我唔記得開呢個先。OK，應該突然間會聽到旁白把聲，應該都頗大聲，我覺得。等下先， 咁樣啦，應該冇咁大聲。我哋繼續。我而家開咗啦，而家開咗啦。我好大聲，可唔可以重新咗嚟過 ？Begin the game again 。好大聲喎！冇咗嘅。我要睇翻一開始嗰度啊，好似有得重新嚟過㗎，係咪啊？點樣重新嚟過啊？喂，點樣重新嚟過啊？可唔可以重新嚟過啊？點算啊？點算啊？冇得重新嚟過㗎。reset delete save data 係咧？應該唔係事故。咩 mark 補習啊？由呢度開始啊！唉，我頭先 set 咗咁耐，又要由呢度開始哭啊！又要嚟過，唉！而家幾點啊？而家唔係，而家晏晝嘅8:30，早晨啊，要陣，等下先，39分。唉，激死我！我哋由頭嚟過。
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a...
呢度冇得改㗎，呢度冇得改㗎。我打咗7點咩？冇所謂啦，係咪啊？個時間會唔會影響㗎？揸1個鐘冇所謂咯，嗬。算啦，以防萬一，我哋都係再嚟過啦。我覺得已經玩緊啦，已經俾自己玩緊啦。點解會咁㗎？異世界有我已經轉身咗，唔應該有時差。我呢版做咗3、4次啦。我之前 testing 嘅時候，唉，PM 8點係8點，唉，8點41分。8點41分係8啊嘛，係8啊！好長啊！我平時唔係咁噶，真心唔係咁樣噶。我哋再一次開始。
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day, of every month, of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
佢確定咁樣 happy，
And
佢一
then one
定
day
唔係
something
開
very
心樣。
peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
我發現呢，係咪開始啦？我發現呢 Stanley 應該係一個高級職員啊，得佢一個有房坐咋。你睇佢頭先呢 show 嗰啲人呢，睇出面都係冇房坐噶。Stanley 有房坐，應該係頗高級嘅。早晨啊 Vincent， 早晨，隻 game 好似好睇玩。我唔想㗎。等下先，我可以做啲咩啊？啊，踎低，呢個係踎低。誒？啊？打電話？開櫃桶？唔得喎。咩？咁好多人都冇啊嘛？嗰度有冇嘢可以？我睇唔睇到㗎？間房似雜物房多。冇得調㗎。早晨 NPC 早晨，唔緊要啊，冇遲到，我都係啱啱開始咋，你乜嘢都冇 miss 到喎。誒，鐘係有喐㗎喎。哇，會唔會入唔返去㗎？入唔返去啊！真係，啲恐怖 game 都係咁，呢度都入唔到喎。周圍都。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Meeting room.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
佢好煩啊！佢係咪因為我周圍行，所以旁白先至咁講啊？係咪啊？呢度着咗喎！開唔返啊！話我無謂，唔係咧。雖然我真係咩都掂唔到，我塞埋佢部電腦點算啊？啱啱。真係咩都開唔到，冇理由噶。啲解謎 game 呢，通常呢以為咩都開唔到嘅時候呢，通常都係有得開噶嘛。跳唔起冇得跳。佢頭先嗰度有天窗，不過，如果我瘋狂咁樣，我想講我開咗勁多個成就，突然之間佢話有個成就係話我跳唔起。You can't jump 呢度門閂咗又開得返。咁會唔會其實係拉同推啊？好似唔係喎。佢嗌我去 meeting room， 我係真係冇嘢掂到喎。哦，邊度係 meeting room 啊？420。佢好有恐怖 game 嘅氛圍嘅。如果唔係
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
早上好啊，條凳。早上好，早晨啊，條凳。哎唷，煩啊 ！I hate Mondays。點解會喺 locker 呢一度有嘢飲㗎？你咁大力撳個 keyboard， 我冇咁大力撳啊！真係咩都冇喎。究竟 meeting room 喺邊啊 ？meeting room
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
早晨啊，星期六，早晨啊！我哋應該行左邊定行右邊啊？我哋行左邊啊！左邊應該係去 meeting room 啊，嗬？有去呢邊啦。喂，右邊， 我行咗去左邊嚟，你太遲講啦。右邊嚇咩？啪啪聲嗰個係啪啪聲係開門啲聲嚟㗎，都唔使用 key 或者 WASD 啫嘛一個。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Meeting schedule 今日幾多號啊？咁佢唔係咁樣計嘅喎，睇下先。等，女王只係為咗邊玩邊啱啊！講得好啱啊！我哋頭先嗰啲 setting 完全都冇出錯，我哋只係為咗俾你哋唔好 miss 咗任何少少嘅 gameplay， 明唔明啊？為咗你哋，我哋可以踩上去嘅喎。佢寫咩啊？邊個轉㗎？嚇？邊個轉㗎？喂！真係冇嘢啱用，佢啲全部廢話嚟㗎。What is hot profits？ 錯嘅係遊戲，錯嘅係世界，真係冇嘢。Throwing something in the ideas bin， 真係冇嘢啱用咩？啲解謎 game 通常都會喺你意想不到嘅地方呢，有嘢啱用，真係冇嘢啱用咩？真係冇嘢啱用咩？依家黑心公司嚟㗎，全部都係錢，好壓榨我睇又知，個個都要擔住杯咖啡。
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
你肯定唔係嚟㗎？我唔知喎，佢唔算解謎嘅咩？我仲以為係嘅添。
There was nothing here, no choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
冇理由嘅，真係。呢個就係唔用腦嘅人玩解謎。
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
唔係啊，佢會。
Are you really stuck in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
佢哋嗌我啲觀眾叫我留喺度啊！我留喺度咩問題先
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
咩問題啊？我出嚟佢又唔讚我喎。
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
冇啲咁樣嘅 ending 嘅，呢度有道門啊，唔係，呢度係我啱啱嚟嗰度。佢特登揀間咁嘅房，佢就係為咗串我啊！有冇搞錯？
Stanley was fat and ugly and really,
好
really
煩
stupid.
啊！
He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug
我有冇
money.
辦法鬧
Also,
翻佢
Stanley is
轉頭？
addicted to drugs and hookers.
我冇辦法鬧翻佢轉頭啊！得唔得㗎？我想鬧翻佢啊！
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. When in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
佢鬧到
Hello? Anyone who happens to
佢
be
鬧到
nearby,
好
the
過
person
分
of
呢
this computer is dead.
仲
They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of
如果我
your
mute 咗佢
species.
得唔得？
Please
佢會唔
remove
會
their
知我 mute 咗
corpse from
佢
the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway. Second player. It's good to have you on. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids.
佢應該
Perhaps
就
there's a
癲
monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready
我
to
好
pick
想
up the
鬧翻佢
story
轉頭
again.
誒，有冇辦法鬧翻佢啊？彈出，彈入，彈出，彈入。啊！佢放棄咗我啦！佢放棄我啦！有冇搞錯啊？我真係可以瞄佢㗎，真係。如果佢再鬧我，我行啦，不如佢再鬧我嘅話就瞄咗佢。佢會唔會閂我門㗎？
Coming to a staircase,
Ah!
Stanley walked upstairs to
Oh,
his
shoot.
boss's office.
我仲有得行，我一直行落去得唔得㗎？佢拗行，得唔得㗎？
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. I'm dreaming! This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself. Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
Yes.
He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
佢一啲都唔 OK 啦，黐線。
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
有邊個啊？
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the side. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people are. She thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. Then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
嚇報警咧？嚇？黐線㗎！佢見到個人佢見到個人咁樣，佢唔報警啊？唔報，企咪 call 把車，唔係大嗌咩都好啊，好唔係黐線？認真咩？早晨啊 ，Jackie 神。我哋係咪重新嚟過啊？係咪冇嘢唔同㗎？我哋重新嚟過誒。
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
嚟過，真係點啊？總共有幾多個結局啊？即係我哋玩咗2個結局，一個就喺度等，喺度等，喺度等。早晨嚟軒讚，哎呀，我旁白。哎，係入唔返去。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it
頭先咪
mean?
聽過咯。
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
頭先咪講過咯。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
啊，我哋頭先係行咗邊㗎？我哋頭先行咗邊㗎？好想叫我去
Yet
去
there
咗
was
極
not
排。
a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office.
我哋又返嚟啦。
Oh no, oh no, 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 not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
我哋佢又記得嘅喎，佢又記得嘅喎。佢有上週末嘅記憶啊！我就唔出去，我就唔出去。今日網絡好差，唔緊要，反正我哋個畫面都係一樣嘅。It's OK，你可以睇個144P 係咪啊？我哋係咪同個旁白鬥耐性啊？而家我想知隻 game 有幾多個結局誒？我想知隻 game 有幾多結局喎？佢有冇上網有冇寫嘅咧？唔知，得上網揾下先。The Stanley Parable of Deluxe。我冇瞄啊！我只不過我去咗揾有幾多個 endings。All endings 有幾多個啊？喺邊啊？邊度有寫啊？19個，19個咁少啊？19個咁少啊 ？OK， 你哋幫我數。我哋目標係全結局啊！都係唔好出去住。嘿，都係唔好出去住啊！等多陣先。佢會唔會開聲？如果萬一佢唔開聲叫我哋走，萬一佢唔開聲，佢索性放養我哋，咁點算啊？咁我哋又喺度留1個鐘啊，留到收台啊！得唔得咁樣㗎？佢會唔會唔出聲？佢唔出聲，咁咪我哋輸咯。佢唔出聲嗌我哋走嘅話，咁咩嘅喎？佢頭先逼癲咗我哋喎，逼癲咗 Stanley 喎。今次到佢啦，係咪啊？應該要到佢吧？佢會唔會叫我哋出去㗎？好似唔理我哋咯。點解行過呢度會啪一聲嘅？佢真係唔理我哋啦！佢真係唔理我哋啦！我冇玩門啊！個旁白咁冇癮嘅，真係唔理？我走噶咯喎，我出嚟咯喎，你真係唔理我？佢真係唔理我？真係？我對佢好失望，估唔到就只係個咁樣嘅旁白，佢真係唔理我？佢 佢真係唔理我咩？喂，你真係唔理我啊？佢咁樣會識唔到女朋友㗎。
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
佢咁樣會識唔到女朋友㗎？唔係，佢咁樣，哇！點解 boss 間房咁靚㗎？超級豪華哦！ bathroom 係點解會喺公司有 bathroom？ Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes if the boss suffer the losses. 我仲以為會係其他書添，有你都唔係咧，係正常咧。正常呢個時候，即係我出翻去嘅時候，佢應該要，哎呀你真係乖啦，你真係好啊，都話你會出翻嚟噶啦咁樣，跟住我再入去就，哎呀唔好啊咁樣先啱噶嘛。咦？點會係都要閂門啊？佢唔開唔翻，佢做乜係都要？咦？好煩啊！早晨啊，科目早晨。 唉，煩到！一個係咪秘書台？我冇玩門，門就係俾人開同閂嘅啦，我冇玩門。點解有 lift 我哋頭先要行樓梯啊？呢啲唔睇得啊，唔可以殺熊貓啊！ 我覺得好矮哦。我哋應該行呢邊。
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
佢直接話俾我聽。喂，如果我入期，
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
我生日啊！係咪唔記得啊？
2845.
女王生日啊！女王出道日子啊！記住未啊？出道日子啊！生日啊！生日啊！
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
黐線，佢夾硬嚟嘅，佢夾硬嚟嘅。開咗去邊啊？佢好過分咧，佢夾硬嚟㗎。我明明就冇撳密碼。最光燈照住嘅地方，我就係主角。算啦，佢好似唔認同。阿曼，佢點可以唔用我生日㗎？
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Wow. 好矮哦。佢嗰啲火花。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that
Mind
read
control
Mind
facility.
Control Facility.
Escape. 唔該。
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. Nope, still on board with death?
點算啊？佢會唔會冇寫其他字咯喎？早晨啊，唔跟唔知乜春，都係行一邊啦，我哋。佢寫住 escape，不過邊有咁大隻夾嘅？
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
佢係 suppose 我要入一個 mind control facility 係咪啊？算啦，都係我哋行呢邊啦，都係。佢啲長廊咧，恐怖 game 成日都出現咧。我頭先已經完咗一個結果，死咗一次咯，啱啱已經。
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
係咪冇盡頭㗎？有冇㗎？啊有啊有啊！係咪真係會死㗎？啊係啊，咁我細聲少少先。等啊，咁樣，我哋跳落去咯。咁都唔死啊？認真咩？
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is.
Wow.
Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
唔望就唔驚。
Farewell, Stanley.
啊咧？
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
嚇死我啦！啊，個女人係邊個嚟㗎？個旁白去咗邊啊？係咧？
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
前面仲有路啊！呢度係出面啊！咁呢度側邊有冇嘢㗎？唔係出面嚟㗎喎。
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
Officer!
Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
唔怪得，啱啱先至話佢啲圖重複用，俾我激走咗。呢個 game design 係咪啊？我嘅 office， 入唔到去。點算啊？不過我連第一個結局都未玩到，我冇跟過去行啊！知唔知啊？好咩？返工玩接龍，捉到佢一定唔係鬧我咧，一定冇鬧我。咦？咁點解佢？我係咪要行完啊？我點可以走啊？我唔中意行博物館咧，係咪啊 ？exit 喺度。
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
我唔中意呢個女人呢。呢個女人好煩，唔係煩，佢嗰種好，佢啲語氣好差，覺得。我唔中意呢個女人呢。係咪冇得唔行呢邊啊？係咪冇得唔行呢邊啊？係啊，佢超陰險啊！聽到好似咧跟佢行咧就一定好似中咗佢計咁。啱啊！佢超串個女人，唔中意佢。我係咪冇其他路行㗎啦？不過，我應該喺兜咗個圈呢。
When he came to the lift, he travelled upward to the power source at the top of the facility to end this injustice forever.
其實咁樣比較，其實個男旁白都唔係好差啫。起碼佢把聲夠中立，起碼唔係咁奸先。好啦，我哋走啦呢度。我哋而家去下一個週末啦，係咪啊？
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
好煩啊！
Perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
點解我又返
Push
嚟啊？
escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
佢講到好似好為我着想咁。其實我係咪真係應該要咁 quit 啊？啱啱。點算啊？好空虛啊！突然之間，其實係咪應該要咁 quit 啊？冇咯，又返嚟呢邊，唔係地獄係咩？
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
又返嚟啦。
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
真係冇
No
嘅。
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
其實係咪應該跟佢講下一次先啊？ 哇，得得，係嘅，不過，咦，佢同頭先唔同咗樣啊！頭先好似，哦，我頭先點樣撳掣㗎？吓？我頭先點樣撳掣㗎？我頭先撳咩又點解冇反應啊？哦。
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference.
有
Nor
啊
did
有
it
啊，
advance the
頭
story
先
in
第一
any
次唔
way.
係咁㗎，頭先第一次唔係咁嘅喎，佢淨係可以撳一個掣咋。Input receive， 哎，佢唔俾我再撳咯。撳其他 keyboard 得唔得？唔得哦。早晨你 Erita Noah さん吓，再企高啲唔得喎，算啦咁，撳唔到啊！頭先明明冇反應㗎。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
佢頭先明明，佢頭先 tips for
Yet there was not a single person here either.
嚇
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
哦，佢頭先，喂，唔俾我入啊！我哋下次去右邊啦咁。啊，封咗，好過分啊！我好過分啊！太過分了吧？佢封咗唔俾我入
Coming to a
啊！
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
我
office.
好過分啊！唔同咗啊！有幾中意錢啊？究竟佢有幾中意錢？佢都忍，佢忍咗我兩次、3次。我哋應該入去頭先嗰個 Mind Control Center 定係去新嘅地方好啊？點算啊？你哋，我哋去 Mind Control，我哋聽一次旁白講啦，不如。
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That
Sorry,
kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
唉快啲啦！快啲啦！
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
喺度，係都要塞住啲時間。講起旁白之前，係啱啱好真係。
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
新地方係其實應該正常係咪應？死我！
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
呢度係跟住旁白行先至去到嘅地方。
Now the monitors jumped to life,
Fired.
their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
427，我喺度啊，喺度啊，我喺嗰度啊，佢唔播啦，寫入邊格啊？冇事冇事，掛台 OK 啊。其實咧好正常啫，係咪啊？有啲公司本來就係會 mon 住員工做乜嘢。
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
咁簡單嘅 job 你有得做，梗係開心啦，唔係咩？
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
紅色掣唔俾我撳啊！係咯，旁白。唔係房嚟㗎，哇好黑啊！我應該行邊啊？唔係，我喺度落嚟㗎，好似係喎。有得落去，睇先。就咁。就咁 ，OK。Facility power。我喺度亂咁撳掣都冇事過。
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
不過佢哋而家都熄咗啦，唔係咩？係咪兩邊都撳得㗎？我要撳 off 啊嘛。不過佢寫咩啊？嗰度佢嗰度寫咩啊？睇唔到喎，佢寫咩啊？喺嗰度寫咩啊？睇唔到啊！可唔可以睇唔到啊？寫咩啊 ？cap 圖先。佢寫咩啊？放大啲先。我咁樣算唔算出茅招？點解我 cap 唔到嘅？佢寫咩啊？嗰度嗰句 麼我 cap 唔到圖？算啦咁。Off on on。
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds. Time doesn't grow on trees. Stanley. Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
What?
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
我都未喊晒。我去到後面已經冇聽佢講，佢太多廢話啦。我哋又翻嚟啦，我要揾翻嗰個。 拜拜啦，冇事冇事。
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his
頭先嗰個
co-workers. He never functioned
喺
well by
邊呢？
himself and constantly needed support and guidance from
我想
others.
揾返
So
嗰
the
個
thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
我想揾翻嗰個電腦啊！誒，去呢度喎！啊，每一次係一個，一次係一個，係咪啊？係啊，係啊，係啊，係啊，係啊，一定係。第一次係一個啊！
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door
我
on
哋
his
係咪約
left.
好咗今次講去右邊嘅？
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire.
我哋今次行咗右邊啊！我哋頭先係行左邊定行右邊話？應該係啊，嗬，啱啊，嗬。
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
係咯，我哋頭先約好咗行右噶嘛。
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
唔同咗啊！呢度唔係我 office 啊！我一直撳咗 dot mode 咁會點啊？佢一直冇。
Stanley went around
Okay,
touching
Papa.
every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it
How
advance the
fun.
story in any way.
我好煩啊！我撳掣佢就煲啦。哦。會唔會煩到
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Wow.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Row. 哇，仲有回音添啊！哇，我都可以有噶。嘿，哇，有冇啊？哇 ！Warning！ 要碌卡喎，冇卡喎，咁點算啊？
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
哈，你哋做咩叫我跳落去啊？期待，你哋逼死我㗎係，你哋殺人兇手。
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed the
哈，
memo.
咁樣就 good job，你哋殺人兇手啊！我左邊啊，發光嘅電腦咧，唔係個喺下面有路咩？睇認真咩？明明係你叫嘅，南瓜神。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open
有
door
路
on
咩？
his
頭
left.
先嗰度真係有？點算啊？我揾唔到開咗個電腦喎。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your
點算
enemy,
啊？
really,
啊，
I'm
我想
not.
我哋係咪
I
應該
realize
跳
that
落
investing
去？
your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is
Yippee.
that the story is... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do,
我諗住去嗰個
Stanley
欄
left from
杆
the
嗰條
platform
路
and
咧，
plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very
冇理由跳
powerful.
唔到嘅。冇理由嘅。
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the
唔
others,
係啊，
wherever
我
they
係
were.
想，
Just a matter of time.
我係想跳去頭先嗰個位咧。係咯？點解啊？唔 make sense。旁白要你死，你就要死。冇喎，邊啊？
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
冇理由
This
跳
was
唔
not the
到
correct way
㗎
to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
冇，哎呀，煩！冇理由跳唔到。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
冇理由㗎。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong
Alam
foot
Hashi.
here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you.
得啦得啦，
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
吓？
Good job,
我係
Stanley.
撳多咗啊！我
Everyone
係撳
thinks
耐
you
咗
are
啊，
very
所以跌翻
powerful.
落去啊？定係咩啊？我頭先一瞬間好似嗨到，
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
唔係咧，唔係咧，我頭先爭啲跳到㗎啦，應該係。唔係啊，真係爭啲跳到㗎啦，相信我，我跳埋今次就得㗎啦。
When Stanley came to a
Yeah,
set of
hold
2
on,
open
Susanna.
doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
Susanna.
just to admire it.
我得㗎啦，我今次跳到㗎啦。
Stanley felt
係啊，
lightheaded,
相信我。
butterflies in his stomach. Giddy in a way, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the
This
first
game
open door on
cannot
his left.
冇事冇事，唔使頭先爭啲得㗎啦，真係。
Stanley was so bad
只要
at following
夠高。
directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5
如果
years
跳唔到
ago.
咧，跳唔到咪跳唔到。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your
唔
enemy.
係
Really,
喎，
I'm
我
not.
陣間係去
I
邊度
realize that
㗎？如果係
investing
去
your
上
trust
面，
in someone else can be difficult,
嗰度
but the
行。
fact is that the
冇事，冇事，
story
呢
has
度。
been about nothing but... What? Really?
嗱
I
都
was
話
in the
得㗎
middle of something. Do you
啦。
have zero consideration for
都話
others?
得㗎
Are you
啦。
that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that
有
I'm
名
on
㗎喎，
your
冇有名
side.
點解開唔
Give
到
me
啊
a？chance.
喂，哦2B 係樓層啊。哦，係都話跳到㗎啦，太強了吧？
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
阿 K 早晨。
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating. Stanley walked through the red
你連字幕都唔
door.
同咗色啊！
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me.
我唔想
You see
㗎，
that
都
I
冇得
really
揀。
have wanted you to be happy all this time. The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop.
咁你就
We would both be so much happier if we just stopped.
嚇後面
And
有
I
藍色咩？
well, I think I have a
嚇
solution.
有咩？
Here, let me show you.
啊？唔理佢。啊？啊？啊？啊？啊？啊？哦，冇得揀喎，冇得返去啦。我頭先睇唔到後面有藍色門呢。
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here.
早晨啊，你
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't
又
it?
真係幾
If we
靚。
just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think No, wait. Where are you going?
你唔開心啊？你中意呢度啊？嘿，
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
不過都係，咁佢咪一直留喺嗰邊咯，佢唔使跟過嚟嘅喎，係咪？
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
我係求我，
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
我呢度係自殺嘅原來。呢度係自殺嘅喎，佢係咪驚啊？佢係咪怯啊？佢怯啊！如果返去咧，佢會唔會送我安全咁樣走啊？會唔會㗎？誒，唔同咗色哦。
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
呢度出唔到去啊！跳落去就可以去藍色門。
No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
佢原本都唔
You
識
heard me
㗎
before, didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
佢真係好煩啊！係真係好嘈啊！再見啦！
No!
吓唔死嘅？
Thank God.
吓
You lived. You
吓
had me worried there for a moment.
咁都
Now,
唔死
can we please get back to... No. No, no. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
佢求我不過 jump again
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My
No.
God. Is this really how much you dislike my game?
我唔係我幾中意
You'll
隻
throw
game，
yourself
不過
from
唔
this
中意
platform
你。
over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the
究竟
situation
呢個係想
correctly?
點㗎？係咩？
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out
好
of
似
it.
真係
I
喎，
don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along.
好似唔
But I
係
guess that
喎。
was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
佢係咪越嚟越灰啦？會唔會真係跌死啊？今次我冇自殘啊！
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it?
好傷
I'm
心，
going back.
佢好傷心，笑死！
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
係佢真係好灰啊！啱啱佢喺度求我唔好跳，唔好跳，點解你要咁對我啊？點解？我真係聽得好爽嘅。頭先係咁樣嘅咩？呢度頭先係咁樣嘅咩？
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Hello?
he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
嚇！
The lounge was grand,
我已經唔係
majestic.
太認得啲路
Perhaps,
啦
but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
今次去係我想揾翻對藍色門啊！
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
陣間一下
I'm
就
not
咁
your
樣
enemy,
衝過
really,
去
I'm not.
呢個
I
位。
realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the
Good
fact
day,
is
good
that
day.
the story has been about nothing but... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero
佢唔記得咗頭
consideration
先
for
都跳
others?
過啦。
Are you that convinced that I want
佢唔
something
記得啦。
bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how
佢
to
唔記得
convince you
啦。
of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is
開門
important.
啊！喂，
Stanley walked through the red
開
door.
門啊！
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood.
佢唔記得咗你
Stanley
頭先
walked
行
through
過
the
啦。
red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly.
啊！
Stanley walked through the... All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
咁如果行翻呢度咁會點啊？阿超
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
乜鬼嘢？2秒？ Skip to intro. 笑死！你知唔知？Friend is empty 好煩啊！
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right. And if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
佢仲識叫添。 我好嘈，我笑死算啦，好唔好啊？
You heartless bastard! Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
3樓，哇，嚇死我！頭先一瞬間以為跌咗，唔知向邊度。
Oh no. No, it can't be.
唔識喐嘅，有冇得跳㗎？冇得跳啊！有
It
指示
is.
牌啊！
It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off. Oh,
黐線，
goodness, Stanley, what a close call.
好
You
過
really wandered
分。
off into that thing, that big open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any.
Open world 幾好玩啊，
Thank
唔係
heavens
咩？
we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game.
嚇，
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable
Office 啊
walls. Okay, I think this will be
Open
just
world
the
唔好
thing.
咩？喂，
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in.
Oh,
There wasn't
Maria.
any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
呢度係足球
Okay, so what
場，
exactly do we do here?
係呢度係
Let's
足
see.
球場啊！
There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game
Ball has
sports
been-
ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
哇，好大黐線！哇，跑得好快嘅，哦！
Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
啊，哦，佢唔喺度喎！好黑我呢邊，首先有嘢做。啊！拜拜啦，俾市場。嚇？我應該行邊邊啊？507。我而家應該點行啊？點算啊？旁白咧，呢啲時候需要旁白誒。喂，點算啊？呢度唔行得哦，呢邊。哎呀，點算啊？508，咦，又係507嘅。509、510，哦，冇路行啊！喂，旁白啊！旁白啊！旁白啊！返嚟呀！有燈啊！有燈啊！有燈！有燈啊！嚇？427咪office 咯，係咪啊？啊咧？我冇掛住佢啊，我冇啊。佢應該開始掛住我啦，係咪啊？佢應嚇
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me.
No.
Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am.
No.
That is what I mean to this world.
No.
Oh, yes.
No.
Yes, I'll be back.
No.
There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
其實
I can
唔
wait.
係真係咁需要，即係冇咗，唉，又要聽到佢把聲，我又開始嘈啦陣間，我哋玩咗10點啦，原來已經。呢隻 game 係精神時
Someone
光
was
屋嚟
following
嘅喎。
Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
精神時光屋嚟嘅喎，我仲想玩啊，不過我哋應該要停啦。係咪啊？我哋原來10點啦，我哋要停啦。哦，
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
我哋最後試下跟一次去原本嗰個路線，我哋就收嘢啦，好唔好啊？我仲想繼續玩呢，不過跟去原本個路
Yet there was
線
not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
佢真係超煩呢，佢封到幾時啊？
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
睇下我寫咩先？又係講錢。呢度啊！係。睇下先。
Okay, I think we all know the drill by blah blah blah. Dark secrets, the keypad, Stanley
haven't
pushes some
found them.
buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
唔該晒。嘿，佢直接唔使我撳，我仲諗住即刻衝過去撳密碼，連撳都唔使撳。佢真係好想我行呢邊啊，都幫我準備好啦。佢就係記得，佢淨係記得我行呢邊嗰啲路線。佢頭先
Stanley
我
walked
明
straight
明
ahead
行
through the large
另一
door
邊，
that
佢完
read
全冇反
Mind
應。
Control Facility.
佢真係好想我行呢邊咧。
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
一直我唔知耳仔一直喐得意，我
Now
本
the
來就
monitors
好得
jumped
意。
to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building,
快啲啦，
Stanley's
讀多
co-workers.
啲啦。
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
我仲想玩。
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control?
Never!
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
救
But
命！
here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
我聽話今次，雖然我冇聽佢講嘢。大片嘅既視感啊，個音樂。
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Was it over? No.
Yes.
嚇
He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command.
我咪 follow 咗
Freedom was
你嘅
mere
command 咯。
moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly
我
opened,
明明就 follow
Stanley
佢 command，
reflected on how
咪
many
同做
puzzles still lay
咪一
unsolved.
樣，咪咩？
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was
咁
all
荒
he
無計
needed
啦
to
出
know.
面。
It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Open world 喎。
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
嚇！認真咩？明明我跟佢行咪又係跟住啲指示，跟住佢話我開心咪係開心，有乜分別啫？喂，講到好似有分別咁。好啦，我哋今日去到呢度停啦。我哋嘅目標呢，係因為要解晒所有嘅結局，所以我哋下次會繼續玩。所以我哋下次係會繼續玩呢一個開發 BGM 先。我哋目標係全結局解鎖。我相信我哋差唔多下一次玩到半個鐘度，應該係差唔多啦，係咪啊？應該就差唔多啦。下一次玩到半個鐘度，會唔會呢？1個鐘到，半個鐘到，差唔多吧。咁我哋今日就到呢度啦。我哋今日玩咗好耐啦。咁我哋講拜拜啦，辛苦晒大家啦。我喺度捽眼，因為我俾隻眼變到奇怪。OK， 辛苦晒大家啦，睇下先。大家拜拜啦 ，YSK 生，拜拜啦，南瓜生，拜拜 NPC， 拜拜餃子，拜拜彤彤，拜拜鳳凰生，拜拜 WYC 生，拜拜 Noah， 拜拜醬，拜拜啦，拜拜李影淵生 ，Charles， 拜拜，先生拜拜，大家拜拜。係咪打完招呼啦？拜拜啦，站長！全 M 不可能吧？點會呀？以我嘅聰明才智，全 M 濕碎啦，係咪呀？我齊狗狗拜拜！以我嘅聰明才智唔難，真係唔難。好啦，拜拜！我哋入 ending 啦。大家退下啦！ 咗好耐啦，膊頭痛啦。拜拜啦，條頓。咁唔知乜春，拜拜。